Well, good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. Go do something today that I've never showed you before. Something you've never seen me do, yet I do quite often. What could it be, you're asking yourself? And I'm going to tell you. Leftovers. That's the beauty of so many of my recipes are leftovers. I can have meals without even having to cook them. Today, I've got leftover from yesterday. A dish that's becoming one of my favorites, and that is what I call my frittata. Bacon, eggs, and ground beef. And I made it a little differently than I did in the first video from a few weeks ago. And it came out better. Last time I ate 3/4 of the thing and almost killed myself. Yesterday I ate half of it, and I've got the other half in here. So let's take a look at what I've got. And what I've got kind of reminded me of quiche or even meat pizza, because I have slices. I have triangular slices here. One of them broke a little bit. Look at this. Triangular slices of what, and this piece broke out of the end here, what amounts to, and I don't even like to use the word pizza because that in itself is addictive, but it's like a meat pizza with it, or an egg pizza with meat. It's crazy. Now, I'm not going to eat it with my hands, but look at this. Look at the amount of food that's here. And this is half of what I made yesterday. And the total cost for this whole thing, for the 2 meals, was crazy. 6 eggs, a couple of bucks, 3 slices of bacon, maybe a buck and a half, and a pound of ground beef, $5. It's like $3 a meal. And I'm telling you, after you eat this, you're done for a while. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to stick it in the microwave, something I hardly ever do. I'm going to see how long it takes. I'm going to start with like a minute and a half. And I want to see how long it takes to heat it up. So while that's heating up, I'll tell you what I did differently yesterday. I may make another video and show you this, or I may not, but the differences were this. Number one, I used more bacon. I used 3 slices of bacon instead of 2 that I used previously. I also cut the bacon up into much smaller pieces. Now, the hamburger that I used, the ground beef, was that Sam's Club, what they call grass-fed organic, and it's only 15% fat. So I added the extra bacon primarily to make sure I added, an appropriate amount of fat to this meal. Turns out that it added some more bacon flavor, which was great. So next time I make it, I may even go to 4 slices of bacon. I chopped up the bacon. I rendered it down in a pan, got it almost fully cooked. Put the ground beef in the pan, chopped it all up, turned the heat down to let it, at around medium, to let the hamburger cook and let all the water cook out of it. And as the hamburger started to brown, I flipped it like I do and made sure that hamburger was really, really brown, almost burnt a little bit on the edges. Okay, that's not quite hot enough yet. We'll try another minute and see. Almost not burnt, but like almost a little bit crispy. Then the thing that I really did differently, I I used this pan here, and I was using my splash guard on it most of the time, and I found out that the splash guard holds the moisture in and the heat in. So when I was cooking the ground beef, I didn't use this because I wanted that liquid to boil off. I took 6 eggs, I beat them up real good. I poured the eggs over the whole thing, shook it a little bit to make sure the eggs evened out, turned the heat to a little lower than medium, put this on top, and let it finish cooking without touching it to make sure that I didn't have to flip it. And I didn't flip it. I didn't flip it. I waited until the egg on the top had really firmed up. That meant it was almost like baked. Then I just slid the whole thing out onto a cutting board like a pizza and cut it in quarters. And it was terrific. And it still is because I've got leftovers today. And here's my leftovers. I'm going to taste this to see, make sure that it's hot enough. What a great meal. And out of one of these things, depending on how much you eat, you've got a minimum of 2 and maybe 3 meals from this one. I'll call it a frittata, but it came out great. Look at that. Look at the bacon in it, and the ground beef, and the eggs. This is going to become one of my favorite meals. I will probably make this at least once a week, if not more. So the next time I make it, I'll film it and put out another video, and maybe I'll make some more improvements to it, but you got to do this. I've got my first meal of the day today, 2.5 minutes in the microwave. Doesn't get any better than that. So I'm going to go eat this while it's hot. You guys take the rest of the day off and eat meat.